This morning we finish chapter 5. This is the third part, and chapter 5 about the relationship between tableau, Q tableau from a quadratic algebra, and orthogonal polynomial. So this is chapter 5c. So usually I resume at each beginning of a lecture what we have done last time, but it's impossible to resume here what we have done last time. And I promise to put some Q-analog everywhere in this picture. So this is chapter 5c. So this was a wonderful garden of bijection, collateral object. Maybe for certain it's a forest or a jungle, and maybe you are lost in the garden. Sure. So where we are? Where are we going in this lecture, in this course? And from where we come? Have you forgotten from where we come? So I will tell you. And where are we going? What is the purpose of this lecture? So where we are just on the relationship between Q tableau related to a quadratic algebra. We have defined this at the beginning of the course. And the theory of orthogonal polynomial, especially orthogonal, they are defined by the moments. And our purpose, from where we come, it's we come for the moment for the PASEP. PASEP, it's a model in physics, which gives you a very beautiful quadratic algebra defined by the relation dE equal Q, ED plus E plus D. And the partition function of this PASEP, this is what physicists are interested in this, because the phase transition is given by the singularity of the transition function, of the partition function. And this partition function can be seen, it's really related to the Q tableau. And we have seen in the case of the PASEP algebra, immediately, from the normal ordering in this algebra, we get immediately some alternative tableau with some weight, with 3 parameters, and the sum of this weight gives immediately the partition function. So how did you prove this? We prove this with the matrix ansatz. And what is the relationship between this PASEP or matrix ansatz and the moments of orthogonal polynomial? So the relation is the following. For the PASEP, there is a matrix ansatz. D and E are represented by matrix. And in general, it's works very well with 3 diagonal matrix. And the partition function in the PASEP, you have to compute this, V plus E, D plus E. You take the sum of the 2 matrices, power n, and apply this to the 2 vectors, W and V. So in this matrix, power n, this is exactly the sum of the weight of all the weighted Motzkin paths. The weight is given by the coefficient in the 3 diagonal matrix. This 3 diagonal matrix, D plus E, is exactly the transition matrix of the Motzkin path. 3 diagonal means in the path you go from level k to k plus 1, k to k, or k to k minus 1. This is a 3-line diagonal above diagonal and below the diagonal. And now we have seen that this sum of weighted paths given by this transition matrix, in fact, are exactly the moments of the orthogonal polynomial. So this is the strong relation between all this. And there is more relation because now the weighted Motzkin path, the sum of the weight of Motzkin path is going to be interpreted as number of history. To each weighted Motzkin path, I define an history. It's a sequence of operator with some choice to do the operation. So there is some bijection we have seen to explain in the history, explain you the 3-term recurrence relation of the orthogonal polynomial. Now this history are in bijection with combinatorial object, like permutation are in bijection with Laguerre history. And now these combinatorial objects are in bijection with the Q tableau. Like the alternative tableau are in bijection with permutation, bijection with Laguerre history, in bijection with the moment from the Laguerre. Now there is more, because we have seen also from a representation of the quadratic algebra, we get some analog of local rule, like RSK, etc. So from this representation, you get also some bijection between this Q tableau and other things. So you see the garden is maybe more clear now. after this introduction. And if you are also, we have seen at the chapter 1 about RSK, we have seen also this algebra coming from two operators, the Weil-Heisenberg algebra, coming from quantum mechanics. And the Q tableau are the rook placement. Particular case is permutation. And then the representation of Q with the operator acting on a Ferrer diagram give you the local rule of Fomin, give you bijection, etc. Also, there is a strong relationship between orthogonal polynomial and three-diagonal matrix. And this relation is also strong in random matrix theory. If you know about random matrix theory, there is a strong relation in all this. And in fact, I don't have the slide here. In fact, if you take the three-diagonal matrix, take the determinant of x times the unity matrix minus the three-diagonal matrix, cut at k first line, k first column. You cut your three-diagonal matrix, it's an infinite matrix. You take the first k column, k row, and you take the determinant of x times the unity matrix minus the three-diagonal matrix cut at rank k. This gives you the orthogonal polynomial. Also, this is equivalent to the three-term recurrence relation of the Favart theorem. So we have seen so many examples in the class of, in fact, this scheme with three-diagonal matrix. We have seen the Polya urn with operator A adding. You just add a ball in the Polya in the urn with only one possibility. You delete any ball with k possibility, and this gives you two matrices. These operators are in fact three-diagonal matrix represented by this, adding a ball, cancelling a ball, and then they satisfy this Weil-Heisenberg relation. We have seen that if you do the local rule, you don't get at all the RSK, you get the inversion table of the matrix. And computer scientists, they prefer to work with priority queue. Priority queue means you have a totally ordered data structure here. You cancel, you suppress, S c'est pour suppress, you suppress, cancelling the minimum element, or you add anybody between this, so you have again two matrix A and S, which satisfy the same relation. And in quantum mechanics, they prefer to add with square root of k and delete with square root of k. If k is the size of the file, they make symmetric between Polya urn and priority queue. So from computer science also, you have the data structure dictionary. You can delete an element, you can add anybody in the file, you can ask a question. Are you here? Are you not here? There is positive question, negative question, and this gives you this three-diagonal matrix. That you split, this matrix is going to be D plus E. D and E satisfy this relation of the PASEP. So we have seen this, you see, many times in the class, that adding an element everywhere is, if you have k elements, there is k plus one possibility to add. There is k possibility to delete. There is k plus one possibility to add and ask a negative question, and k possibility to ask a positive question. K and J does not change the size of the file. You just like pointing a point or pointing an interval, which is the absence of a particle. And here, so we have seen that this is related to the Laguerre history, but restricted Laguerre. Because the large Laguerre, it's for any level k, everywhere you must have k plus 1, k plus 1, k plus 1, k plus 1. Here there is a restriction for two of the operators. Yes, the slide is here. I try to give you this slide by hand, but here is a slide of what I was talking. The general three-diagonal matrix, you can put everybody below. It will be the same if you take if there is element here, you can always take the product and put them everybody below. So this is a three-term recurrence relation for the general orthogonal polynomial in a formal way, and this is the expression of the orthogonal polynomial in terms of a determinant of this three-diagonal matrix. So what do we want? Where are we going? Q-analog, why we are going to take some Q-analog? So we want to compute the partition function from the tableau. You have a quadratic algebra. There is a normal ordering. Normal ordering gives you this object. The normal ordering gives you, if you take a mixture of D and E in a word, it's going to be expanded in a big polynomial, and the coefficient will be given by the sum of the weight of this alternative tableau in three variables. Alpha will be the number of rows without any blue. Some people call it the free row, and J will be the number, alpha power I of J. The parameter beta will be the number of columns with free columns. There is no red point, and the Q will be the number of cells, which I call the crossing in the alternative tableau. So we want to get the generating function, the sum of the weight of all this tableau of size n. And this will give me the partition function of the PASEP with 3 parameters, alpha, beta, and q. So in the case of the Weil quadratic algebra, then the analog is, in fact, you have a Ferrier diagram, you have a Rook placement, and then you have to count how many such the polynomial will be q power the number exactly the same number of this cell. This cell is when UD, when you take the rewriting, UD give QID. So it will be, if it's a permutation, a square with every row and column, there is at least one of this green point, then the Q is exactly the number of inversion. But here there is some row totally empty, so you have to put some Q here, not here because below it's forbidden. So you have the analog of the alternative tableau with the Rook placement. So you have Q power this, X power the number of free row, where there is nobody here, Y number of column, and I should add an extra variable for the number of rook. But in all this lecture, I will not put the number of rooks. In fact, there is 4 variables. Combinatorists, because physicists, they want 3 variables, Q, alpha, and beta, but combinatorists, because they have a combinatorial interpretation, and very naturally, they have a 4th parameter, which is an Euclidean, Eulerian distribution. They are counting the number of particles in the strip, or they are counting the number of horizontal edges in the Ferrier diagram, or they are counting number of rooks in this. So it's no problem to add this parameter, an extra parameter. And there is the Q. So if you look the paper, the solution by physicists, the one in 2000, the first solution of the 3 parameter in 2003, I think, and then the solution of the ASCII, the general with 5 parameters. Physicists, what they do, they change the variable. You want this equation for the PASEP, and you go back to this equation for the Weil-Heisenberg algebra. So suppose you have two matrix or operator, small d satisfying this equation. Then by this change of operator, you satisfy this equation. So it's very interesting. We relate the two, yes, question.
Could we go back one slide, please?
Yes?
With the details on the bottom. So in this example, what is the ID, what is J, and what is K?
Q power K. K of T is the number of yellow cell.
Okay.
It's corresponds to the number of inversion, 4. And X is the number of row without any. So the number of rows, so this means it's the number of D here. It's 2, and the Y is the 5. You see, it's exactly the same when you take any word, this is a word in D and U, you take the normal ordering, then what remains in the monomial, in D power I, U power J, and you want to have the coefficient. So the coefficient of D to the square, U to the 5, is going to be the contribution of all such row placement, giving 2 empty rows and 5 empty columns. So it is very interesting, this relation. Because chapter 1 was RSK everything, chapter 2 PASEP everything.
But where is U? Where have you defined D and U?
Here. Suppose you have small d and e. Suppose you found this. Then you change, you define capital D, capital E like this. And if this, U and D, okay, it's, no, it's, I should cancel this. Forget this, it's,
You have to divide, I think you have to divide by square root of.
no, forget this one. This is inspiration for this one.
No,
Because if you put Q equal 1, then it doesn't work. So this change of variable work only with a Q parameter. If you start from this, you will not be able to go directly to this. So if you have this, you have to put a Q. If Q equal 1, I cannot, if I just work without the parameter Q, I cannot have a connection between the matrix, between this and this. But with a Q, then I can define this. In fact, you have to divide. If you divide everything by 1 over 1 minus q, then you have to define, in fact, small e divided by 1 minus q, small d divided by 1 minus q, identity operator divided by 1 minus q, and then you will have a more beautiful
Actually,
change
in
of variable.
equation, you divide by square root of 1 minus q.
Or square root. Sometimes it's square root, yes.
Is enough.
There is. But it's very. This is open problem. I have not been able, I think, or nobody have been able to do this change of variable to understand at the commental level. We have the Rook placement here. It's a Rook placement with, and then what is the alternative tableau? But we have to be careful because divided everything by 1 minus q, then you have 1 over 1 minus q. So the identity operator is multiplied by 1 plus q plus q2 plus etc. plus q power I. So I think we don't understand completely at the commental level this change of algebra. So this is interesting. So first step, we are working with Q analog. So it's supposed to be a class, elementary class, even if sometimes it's more higher level. But let's start from the beginning. It would be good to inversion table and Q analog of Hermite history. This is the most simple. So the inversion table, we already have seen this, but I repeat. It's supposed to construct a permutation. You start from the empty interval, then you put a 1, open 2 new interval. There is 2 possibilities to put the 1, so you put the 2 here. You put the 3. Each time there are 2 possibilities, 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities, etc. And in green, the arrow in green give you which, among all these possibilities, I number the possibility from right to left. This is a convention. I can number them from left to right. And the first choice, I call this 0. So here 0 choice number 1, and choice number 2. So you see the red number give you at each step of the history, where do you put your numbers? So it says introduction to history. History is the sequence of operation, of operator. Here there is only 1 operator. And each time your operator go to a state k to a state another state, the state here is integer. If I am in state k, I go to k plus 1, from k to k plus 1. And then when I go to k plus 1, there is k plus 1 possibility. So I number the number of possibilities, and I choose one of them. And the history is the sequence of operation plus the choice. Here there is only 1 operation. Very simple. Each time you fill up an interval, you open 2 new intervals. So the states always increasing by 1 kk. And then I can resume this history. So everything I have done, I remember. History means I remember everything I have done. I resume this in this table. So the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. So you see, this is called sub-accident function. Each time you have a column of size k, k plus 1, k plus 2, you increase each time, and you have a choice of a point, a black point. So the red number is exactly which choice you do in the history. And to have the Q analog, I take the minimum choice to be 0. Sometimes I put 1 for the history, but the first choice is Q power 0 with the weight 1. So this is a Q analog of permutation. We have seen that this is last time that this is the generating polynomial for permutation according to number inversion, because it's going to be the product of generating polynomial for each column, and in one column, the generating polynomial is 1 plus q plus q2 plus q3 plus etc., which is the Q analog of the integer I. Now the interesting part, which is going to be appear in the PASEP, in fact, in this very simple history, there is 3 parameters. There is a Q, and there is an alpha and a beta, which will be the spirit of the alpha beta on the PASEP. So this alpha beta parameter means when you have a certain number of choice, you take the extreme choice, the choice 0, or the maximum possible choice. So this parameter appear here, you see. So I put an alpha. Each time I am choosing the choice 0, I put a beta. Each time I am choosing the maximum possible. If I have k possible choice, it will be k minus 1. And this will correspond to the left to right, right to left element in a permutation. So you get a generating function for this Q history giving permutation. So we have the three parameters, number of the Q power, the sum of all the choice, alpha number power, the number of points on this zero line, and beta power, number of points on the diagonal. And so this three parameter function will be the product of this polynomial. So we have three variable polynomials. So this is the first choice, the minimum alpha, which is Q power 0, plus the last choice will be weighted beta. So it's kind of alpha beta analog of the Q analog of I. And this will be the spirit of the history giving the PASEP. Everywhere. For the rook placement, everything, but it's much more complicated. In case of the PASEP, it's not going to be so simple that you take standard history. If I take the Laguerre history, this will give me permutation. But then if I can take the Q analog of Laguerre, this will give me the Q of the PASEP. But if you take the extreme choice, no, alpha beta is not so simple. But here for permutation, it's very simple. So I resume my philosophy of history. It's Q analog. In history is what? You have a certain set of states. Here the state was the integer. And there is some operator acting on the state. Maybe even many operators. In the dictionary data structure, there are 4 operators. And if you take one of these operators, then you are in the state S, it will go to another state T. And going from S to T, you can do this with a certain number of possibilities. So there is a valuation on these edges, V index ST, and depending on the operator. And then in history is just a sequence of such operator. You have to say what is the initial state. So when you know the initial state, you know the final state, because it's deterministic. And then there is a second vector, a sequence of possibility. So for each operator in the history, you have a certain weight, a certain number of possibilities to go from SI to TI. If SI in TI is, TI is SI plus 1, yes. So a certain number of possibilities, and then PI, you choose any number between 0 and strictly less than this.
Can you go back once to alpha and beta?
Here?
No, previously. Slide before this. Before this.
Here?
No, the one before this. Yeah. So there, how? So at the corner.
Yes.
How do you distinguish alpha and beta?
Oh, they are the product.
Both.
They are both.
You take alpha times beta.
Yes.
Okay.
Each point receives a weight alpha and a weight beta. And in case there is both weights, you are the product alpha beta. Okay. And the Q also, you have, if there is for example, this point will have the product beta by Q power 5. So I take the product. So this is the only point having alpha beta as a. So now the Q analog of an history in general, there's a Q weight. It will be Q power the choice you just made. So the total weight of the history will be the product of the Q for each choice. So it will be Q power the sum of all the choice. This will be the Q analog of the history. And a little lemma will tell you that this is the. No, it's the next slide. Okay. So this is definition. The Q weight of the history is just the product of the Q weight of each choice, which is the same as the Q power, the total sum of the choice. And then there is an alpha beta weight. In general, when you take 2 extreme choice, alpha equal choice, minimum choice, maximal choice. But now if you have several operators, this alpha and beta, in fact, depend on the operator. You can distinguish, okay, I am using this, for example, for the Laguerre history. I say when I'm adding a cell, I distinguish the first or last possibility, but it will be not the same if I am deleting a cell. So in the Laguerre history, there is 8. There is 4 possible operators, which give you 8 parameters with alpha beta. So this is general, but we will apply this to Laguerre history, Hermite history, history giving permutation. But a second, wait, a second possibility for my history. Second very interesting idea. It depends of your bijection between an history and a cometary object, depend of the choice of the position. You have to number the whole possibility. And I think several times I told you, but if I change the way to numbering the choice, I can get another parameter. So I get immediately bijection, showing that the two parameters have the same distribution.
But you can also index the choices by, a grid or something. It doesn't
Grid
have to be one number. You can have multiple weights.
Yes, also, yes.
So you can have
There's a
many
lot of
weights,
freedom,
yeah.
you see. So this can make you some beautiful bijection.
Yeah.
So I always tell you that the Maj index,
Yeah.
having the same distribution inversion number, can fit in this category of to go from the Maj to the inversion is just changing the ordering of the possibility. So now I explain you. I show you the. So the Maj index, is the same measure that McMahon and the famous theorem we last year about the McMahon-Master theorem. But he has introduced index of Maj index called for McMahon. So the Maj index is the sum of the indices or all the descent of the permutation. You take a permutation, and the Maj is the sum of the indices. In fact, this is general idea of two possible Q analog. One Q analog is for each choice you put Q power I. Another Q analog in an history, you look at a certain category of event which is going to happen. Here, when you read the permutation from left to right, some descent are going or rises are going to happen, and you put Q power the time where this happened. So this is another Q analog. So c'est two different Q analog. You see, this corresponds to inversion, Maj, or to, for example, a Ferrer diagram. When you look the border, each time you go down, then you put Q power the indices. You have an history. No, this will not work. Take a. No, I am confusing, but okay, forget. I have so many things to say that I am not going to lose 1 minute on this. But sum of the event are in a certain history. Here is the sum of the time at each time a certain descent appears, and then you put Q power, the time where it appears from starting at time 0. So when you have permutation, say when you have free position, the possibility was numbered from right to left. Now we change the possibility. You look at the rises and the descent of the permutation, and you label the possibility in the following way. First, you label the descent from right to left, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And when you are finished, this is maybe K, you continue to label the open interval, but now the rises from left to right. So let's do the experience. So here, for example, this is position, there is choice number 0. There was only one choice to put the 1. Okay, now the labeling 0 and then 1. And I take choice number 1. Choice number 1 means I put a 2 here. No new labeling. So each time the labeling is changing. So 0, 1, 2. And I am choosing choice number 1. So I relabel the 0, 1, 2, 3. And I am choosing choice number 0. I relabel the choice, and I choose number 2. So each time you say you have to relabel everything, but it's you feel that you see immediately it's in bijection with the two histories are in bijection. You just follow if you know the sequence of choice here. On one side you have this construction, on the other side you have the construction of the classical inversion table. So I have finished. So this is all the choice. So the analog of the inversion, the Q analog of the history, which give me inversion, it's the sum of all this. And the sum of all this is, what happened? I am lost. Sum of all this should be 16. 1, 2, 4. Yes, the sum of all this number is 16. Now look the indices of the descent. Indices of the descent, the MAJ is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 give you 16. So this is a beautiful, simple proof. Applying the general idea, renumbering the possibility. So it's an easy exercise to show that you get the same distribution. You have to look, each time you insert a value with the MAJ numbering, then the MAJ will increase by 1 each time, or will increase by the value you had. So it's easy exercise to show that you get really the MAJ here. The sum of the indices of descent is going to be exactly the sum of the choice you make with this special labeling. So we have done the first step, the Q analog of n factorial with a trivial history. Going the path is going up. The Dick path, the Motzkin path, there is only one step going up. No level, no step going down. This gives you n factorial. This gives you alpha and beta, the distribution of Stirling number, the double distribution of alpha beta. And now I take Hermite history. So it is the most simple history, apart the inversion table. So Hermite history, you take a Dick path, and the label of the going down is lambda k equal k. So this corresponds to the Hermite polynomial in the three-term recurrence relation. So when you go up, the relation is 1. When you go down, is lambda k equal k. And then I take the Q analog of this. So this is the Q analog of the Hermite polynomial. And then, so the Q analog of the Hermite of the history. So if I take a Dick path, fixed Dick path, the sum of the Q weight of all the history, so you have many history. Number of history is the product of the red number. And the sum, for each history you have a Q analog. The sum of all these Q analogs is exactly, in fact, the Q weight of the Dick path. The Q weight with this weight, lambda k equal Q analog of k. It's a trivial fact, but taking the sum of the Q analog of the history is exactly taking the Q weight of the Dick path with changing k into Q analog of k. And I am going to construct now a bijection between this history and the Dick path. If I know the history related to the Dick path, I'm going to construct a bijection and see what happened of the Q parameter. So when you have the Dick path, you construct this kind of R diagram which are open or waiting to be closed. So for each time you go up, you put an opening arc. Each time you go down, you put this kind of things. And then I'm trying to connect each of these arcs according to the Hermite history. So I label the three, it depends on the way you label it. I can label it from left to right to left. This is the possibility for your history. So each operator, each time you go up in the Dick path, you open a new arc in green. Each time you go down, then you are going to connect this part of the closing arc with the beginning of another one. So here, there is, to connect this, there is two possibilities, which is exactly the red number. And among these two possibilities, you choose possibility number 1. So with my labeling, possibility number 1 is this one. And I put a weight Q power 0. Now the second, now I go up in the Dick path. So you open a new arc. You go down in the Dick path. So I am going to close. This is going to be connected to an arc. There is two possibilities. There is two open arcs. And I take possibility 1. So this one. And this gives me a weight Q power 1. So you continue, see, like this. So your Hermite history, the number of Hermite history is exactly the number of involution with no fixed point. What means now the Q parameter? So the Q parameter means it's exactly the number of nesting in your diagram. A nesting means when there is an arc which is below another one. So here the parameter is 0 plus 1 plus 0 plus 0. So there is only one nesting, and this nesting is here. It's easy to see that each time the choice, the blue number, it's going to weighting above it. There is many arcs is going to be connected, and this will be exactly for each blue number. It will be the number of arc above this one. Now you can ask, but what happens if I change the order? If I talk from right to left, then the Q parameter will be now the number of crossing. You can easily check that number of crossing when two arcs are crossing like this. So you get immediately the consequence that the polynomial enumerating for diagram par nesting is the same as crossing. The two parameters have the same distribution. But if you don't know Hermite history, try to prove it directly. I think some people maybe make paper like this on this. But now it's obvious with the philosophy of history and bijection, Hermite history and art diagram, your Q analog, it's just changing the order from left to right, right to left. It's not so subtle that the Mage index where there is a kind of mixture. So the number of crossing, number of nesting, which is going to be the sum of all the Q powers indices. And in fact, there is more exercise. If you take the double parameter crossing nesting, this polynomial is symmetric in crossing and nesting. I give very few exercises, but at least this is one. It's a Qt polynomial symmetric in Q and T. Is it working, this? Because I became to be hot. No, it's... So the rook placement. So I go with Hermite polynomial are related to the Weil Heisenberg algebra. UD equal du plus T are related to the rook placement. So there is a bijection between Hermite history and some rook placement, but special rook placement when there is no empty column and no empty row. If you take a rook placement with, in each row there is at least one rook, in each column there is at least one rook, then this is in bijection with involution with no fixed point. And this is in bijection with oscillating tableau. We have seen this with the sequence of oscillating tableau, starting from empty tableau, ending in empty tableau. So here is the bijection. So to put a root, in each row you have to put a rook. So there is two choices, which correspond, you see. So the dig pass, here I go up in the dig pass, up, then I go down the dig pass. I am here. And I have two different choices, which means I have two possibilities in this row. And I choose the first choice, 0. So I am labeling the choice in the row from right to left. I take choice 0, which gives me this. Now, I am going up in the dig pass, down the dig pass. There is two possibilities, which correspond to choice 1. I take this choice. So you see, when you fair diagram, you are going to the right horizontally. This go up in the dig pass. When you go down, mean I am taking a full row and I look how many such possibilities. And the variation of the number of empty cells in this process is exactly the length of the row minus the number of vertical brown edges coming below a red point. So you continue like this, and you get exactly a bijection between rook placement having no empty row, no empty column, and Ferrer and diagram, arc diagram, and such that the Q analog, which is here the number of nesting, it depends. If you prefer labeling, you have two choices. You can take number of nesting or number of crossing for the labeling of the construction of the R diagram. And this will correspond to like a number of inversion, analog of inversion of permutation. This cell is means there is a red cell, a green cell on the left, and a green cell below. But be careful, it's when there is no empty row, no empty column. If there is an empty row, then maybe there is some yellow cells, some Q appearing, and it's more complicated. And so if you take the reverse, this order for Hermite history, you will get in this diagram number of crossing, which will correspond to this number of points. It will be, these points are exactly the points which are in brown edges. This is one of the possibility in the complete Q tableau. If you remember chapter 1, complete, this was a cell where there is on the left of which were one brown edges cutting the cell. So these two red points are the two crossing here. And if you remember, we have done in chapter 1 a little fast, is that this kind of Rook placement, and with this inversion here, is exactly in bijection in the oscillating tableau. It's because you do the local rule, you do the construction the easiest with the shadow or local rule on the edges, and then you follow the border. You have the operator adding a cell in the Ferrer, deleting a cell, so you get a sequence of oscillating tableau, and which are in bijection with this Hermite history, which is in bijection with this diagram. And okay, now the general Rook placement when there is empty row or empty column is more complicated. I will have no time to tell you about this, but it's more complicated. Then there is some nice, by Joshua Vergès, there is some complicated formula for the partition function, the analog of the partition function of the PASEP, but I will skip this. I will just say the following with no Q analog for Q equal 1. You can do the same construction as before with the Rook placement, give you a diagram, but now the difference is that sometimes I open an arc and it will be never closed. Or sometimes I am trying to close an arc, but this will not be closed. So this general Rook placement will be in bijection with, in fact, involution with fixed point and with two colors on the fixed point. If you have only one color, then means the Rook placement where in each column there is at least one Rook. And in that case, the analog of the Hermite polynomial, it's a polynomial with you allow in the Motzkin path, instead of having a dict path, you allow a level with a choice only one. So you allow a dict path with some level at the zero level. And I think some people in analysis call this a big Hermite. So when there is two color points, this will be the very big Hermite. But we are at a very lower level of the. I don't speak of the Q analog, just of the. It's more complicated the Q analog, but for Q equal 1. So, and if you like oscillating tableau, Young tableau, etc., the analog of the oscillating tableau would be okay. I have this sequence following the border. I have a sequence of Ferrer diagram. Sometimes I add a new cell. Sometimes I delete, and sometimes I do nothing, corresponding to the empty row, empty column. And doing nothing, there are two different ways to do nothing. So this is kind of two-color. It's not completely vacillating tableau, but it's there's a vacillating tableau, stammering tableau, hesitating tableau, etc. This is another kind. There is so many kinds. So this is it's two-color. I call this two-color, maybe. Two-color hesitating tableau. You add a cell, you delete a cell. Sometimes, I want to rest. I don't know if I add or and then you have two possibilities to rest for your rest. You can be on the left or on the right. It depends of your. Okay, but so this will be in bijection with two-color involution. Two-color means that in involution with fixed point, and the fixed point have two color. Oh, by the way, that reminds me that the permutation tableau, the lay diagram, the AMAC diagram, are in bijection with permutation with two color on the fixed point. There is some subtle connection. So now we attack the real part, the Q-PASEP with three parameters. So there is this Q-Laguerre polynomial with, so this corresponds to the Laguerre history, the Laguerre polynomial with this parameter, the Laguerre, the regular Laguerre, and the Q analog is this. So if you apply the philosophy of Q-analog of history, so we have seen many times, the Laguerre history, which give you n plus 1 factorial. There is two kinds of Laguerre history, the one given n plus 1 factorial, the one given n factorial. So you apply a sequence of this operator. It's adding, going up in the path, going down, or two kinds of blue level, blue and red. And so this is, and the Q-analog of this, okay, you label the choice in a certain way. It's from right to left, or left to right. It depends of your taste. So here I think I have labeled, so I took, for example, choice, see here, choice 0. So this was choice number 1, choice number 1, choice number 0, choice number 1. So this is the labeling of the possibility from left to right. Okay, so this is the Q-Laguerre, the classical parameter. I will call this Q-Laguerre because it's exactly the parameter happening in the PASEP. So the weighted Q-Laguerre, it will be Q power 4 here. It's the Q power, the sum of this red number. So the Q-Laguerre, it will be Q power, the sum of all these possibilities. This was the old notation where I put pi possibility equal to 1. Here I change the notation pi minus 1. Sorry, because some slides are mixed. And so some people prefer, instead of taking, okay, this Q power, the number of choice, they prefer directly to say, no, this Q analog is exactly the number of patterns 312 in the permutation. 312 means there is 3 values, like this one, for example. There is one value here, which is bigger than the value here, and this value here is bigger than this one. So this 3 ones is 2 value consecutive. This one is bigger than this one. And the 2 means maybe it's far from this. The 2 means it's a value of the permutation, which is between this value here and this value here. And we have seen many times that this is exactly the same as what I just defined, the Q-analog of history, because the indices, if you want to know which choice you choose, choice number I, if you take the permutation, this choice number I was given by this picture, which we call the I factorization of the permutation. So in red, you cut all the letter bigger than I. In blue, all the letter less than I. And this block, blue or red, are consecutive letters. So this is the two definitions are equivalent. But the 312 pattern depends of the way you order the cell, from left to right. So for me, it's the essence of the parameter can change. The essence of the parameter is Q power number of choice, which should be doesn't depend, which should be depend of the choice. So there is many different Q-Laguerre which are all the same distribution. So to choose this one, okay, it's the most practical. All paper and PASEP, every paper, you will see always the number of patterns 312. But maybe for further, more subtle research, we should try to change. So this is a Q-Laguerre polynomial, defined by BK lambda k. And here, this is a large Q-Laguerre, and the restricted, when, again, this corresponds to data structure history, where you have, if you have k element, there is k possibility to delete, there is k plus one possibility to add, there is k possibility to ask a question, positive, and k plus 1 possibility to ask a negative question. So the parameter Q of the PASEP. So we have to find that all the objects, in all the garden of yesterday, of last time, where the Q must appear, the pattern 3 to 1. So if I go back to this bijection I gave with exchange delete algorithm, local rule, etc., commutation diagram, I gave an explicit interpretation of this Q analog, but it's not at all the Q PASEP of the Laguerre history. It was something very complicated, number of pair x, y with x plus 1, plus 2, etc., y plus 1, for it was something messy, and so many people say, oh, this bijection is too complicated because
Yes.
you cannot find the Q, the 312. But I keep this bijection because it's come from the local rule in the same way as the RSK. So it's a natural bijection. So it should be possible to do more with this bijection. So to do more, I thought I succeeded a few weeks ago. I try, okay, let's change labeling of the cell. Because here it's amazing. Here, when you follow the border, you have a Laguerre history. And if you follow any path, tac, 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 you have a Laguerre history everywhere or a partial Laguerre. And we know that the number of cells like this must be the Q Laguerre. So I think it should be, from this picture, from this local rule, it should be possible to show that it's Q Laguerre. So I try to change, to do something, changing the way of labeling. I thought I get it, but no, I have still, maybe it's impossible, or maybe it's possible, because if you look carefully at the commutation rule, each time you do this commutation rule like this, you must increase the Q by 1. Each time you do this, then the Q is not is invariant. So it should be possible, I think. So give me the proof that it's not possible. I still hope that from this I can get the Q Laguerre. But now, with all we have done before, now there is an easy way to see the Q Laguerre with the bijection of Aval, Boucicault, and Nadeau. Remember this bijection? It was from inversion table to directly alternative tableau by inserting. So you look the inversion table, 1, 2, so the choice is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each time you look the border of the tableau, and you apply the inversion table. You insert a column or a row depending on which choice in green you choose. So it is a very nice direct bijection. In fact, you have to work with the analog extending the alternative tableau with tree-like tableau. And each time you are choosing a point here on this interval, then you are choosing a point in the border here. And depending on the vertical ontologies, you insert a row or a column. And now, depending on this special point, sometimes you do nothing more than adding a row or column, or sometimes you have to go left and adding a ribbon. And this ribbon you are adding is followed, you are going left or right. It's exactly the same process in what's called the Dick tableau, which was a representation of the subdivided Laguerre history, which are a pair of two Hermite history. So, but this diagram, you see, was really beautiful. And now the Q Laguerre, you can see explicitly, the Q was a number of cells of ribbon added in this. And if you look carefully, now it's going to be the number of red points in all these strips, this ribbon. For each point, a Dick tableau, there is a point above each tableau, and it's a number of points of this cell in red above all these black points. Here there's 3 red points, here there's 3. So you can really see the Q from this alternative tableau, this inversion table, and this. And we have seen, in fact, that Dick tableau are here. They're in bijection with this construction of. I start with the inversion table, and I go. If I go, then I go. I take choice 1. Then I go left. I take. So each time you are putting a point, inserting, and if you go left, then it's going to give a ribbons in the Dick tableau, or giving a sort of ribbon in here. And you can see carefully, it's easy to see that the number of the Q, number of cell here, is going to be exactly the number of point in the green segment. For each black point, you look above how many cells are above this black point. Maybe it's another slide. I'm a little confused. Okay, so I am confused because I have too much objects. Inversion table, this tableau, alternative tableau, this Dick tableau, this heap of segment. So let's forget the Dick tableau. So sorry, Jean-Claude and Sandrine and Adrien, if you look this video, I don't need your Dick tableau. Let's concentrate. Let's concentrate on this multilinear heaps of partial segments. So what I have done last time is to give you. We started from the multilinear linear heaps, and we go to permutation. I did not have time to go from a permutation. Okay, let's describe carefully a multilinear heaps. So you see, we have alternative tableau or tree-like tableau, give permutation. This permutation is in biation with this, and then this is in biation with restricted Laguerre. So let's do the construction. Very easy construction. Let's repeat the construction of last time from a permutation going to a heaps of what I call multilinear heaps of pointed segment. So we put the 1. Now the 2, it's like inversion tableau. There is 2 possibilities. I take the left one, I put the 2 here. Now we have 3 possibilities. So I'm choosing this possibility. So I'm putting the 3 here. I insert the 3, and inserting the 3 gives you this. Here I am going left. So each time in red, when I go left, from I to I plus 1. In blue, when I go from I to I plus 1. Now the next one, I have 4 possibilities. I take the first possibility. This gives me the 4. Next one, I have 5 different possibilities. I choose number 2. The 5, I have to insert a 5 between 3 and 1, which gives me this. In blue and red, you keep, you see, each time. In fact, when you are backward and forward. So this standing, the blue and the red, is exactly what we do in the exchange algorithm. Backward, forward. So you see, there is so many connections, so many mix. Now the last, so the 6. Now we insert the next one, 7. Now the next one, so I have to make some room so that everybody can be inserted in. So now this position is going to be the 8. And I have finished. It's a permutation with 8 elements. You see, when you have a permutation, you can do, everybody can do this, going back left or right, inserting your value according to the inversion table. If you go left, you take a red step. If you go right, you make in blue, depending of the, and all these values starting with the red segment will be the backward. X plus 1 is at the left of X. All the values going to the blue segment, 8 will be advanced because X equals 7, 8 is at the right of X. Now the construction was, I don't need all this to get my permutation. I can delete the blue segment. Now they are floating in the air, so I take the hips corresponding to this, and I get my permutation. So this is what we call a multilinear heaps of segment. So you have to go back to the class last year.
This is the one where you're pointing some. You have many points on the segment.
Yes, so it's segment. Segment is when I take heaps, means it's a full segment. For example, this segment is a point. It's all this point. When I take the concurrency, the dependency relation, 2 segments are dependent. So if they have a non-empty intersection, but the full segment, full means a compact segment. Don't take only the points which are pointed, and then and then on this segment, which is all the integer between the 2 extreme points, I am pointing some point, including the extreme point. Of course, the extreme point belongs to the pointed segment. Maybe I don't say this last time, but pointing the segment means the extreme points are pointed, and inside there is some point. So now from the algorithm of Jean-Christophe, Adrien, and Philippe Nadeau, we know that from the insertion algorithm, if you look carefully, when you have the inversion table and you are looking this insertion the left or right of the in the insertion segment of this ribbon, usually it's not, it can be a whole ribbon inside the alternative tableau. Then you can translate it by saying that the Q analog is exactly, if you take the inversion table, the subextended function is going to be this parameter. You take the max between 2 consecutive values of the insertion in the insertion tableau, fi plus 1 minus f of I. The max between this, last time there was a mistake, I have to take the difference of this minus 1. And the max is 0. So which means that if f of I plus 1 is less than f of I, you put a 0. If f of I plus 1 is f of I plus 1, it's not enough, you put a 0. The difference must be at least 2. So here you say there's a difference. I go from the f of I was 0, the choice was 0 and 2. So the difference is 1. No, the choice was 2 and 5. So the difference is 3, minus 1 is 2. So you get exactly these two. This is the only case where you can apply this formula, and you get 1 cell here, 2 cell here. So your Q parameter, you can really see it on the inversion table. It's easy to see it. And if you translate it directly, without going through Dictableau, but it's a very nice structure which explains the fit of the general garden. If you translate it directly on the heaps of segmented segment, then these 3 cells from the alternative tableau become exactly this cell. What are these cells? You take each point of the pointed segment. You look above how many segments you can meet going above. So here there is only 1. Here there is only 1. Here there is only 1. And this is the Q analog. So the Q Laguerre, not yet. The Q, the parameter Q of the PASEP, which was the number of yellow cells in the alternative tableau, become exactly in this multilinear heaps of pointed segment the number of such a cell like this.
These were the number of red bars. Yeah.
It's an
In the previous lecture, you had
yes.
the red bars above these.
Only the red, yes. The blue has disappeared. I take only the red. See, but it's the green segments are just a sequence of red. You have the red can coagulate together and make a long green segment. Each time a red segment is following another one, then you have a point of the pointed green segment, and the blue have disappeared. And so this now, if you go back to the previous lecture, and if you, well, I can explain directly. It's now if you look this black point, and you look for each black point, how many green segments below? This comes from the previous lecture when this point here came from the subdivided Laguerre history. I will show you this Laguerre history. Now, if you, instead of counting number of, you see like this, number of points above a black point, you can count also number of points below. It will give you, in fact, a symmetric parameter. And in fact, this is exactly the parameter for the Laguerre history. But the Laguerre history of the inverse permutation. If you remember last time, I am reading this diagram from left to right. So here I put 1 point with 1 choice. Now the second point can be, so I am opening a green segment. The second point in black can be below or above this. There is 2 possibilities. Now the third point, see the third point. I am continuing this green segment, and the third point is outside the segment. So there's 3 possibilities to put this point, but I don't increase the number of possibilities. This was a blue level or red level. So which means I close. This point does not open any segment. So again, this point, there is 3 possibilities to put it. So each time, this corresponds exactly to the Laguerre inversion, restricted Laguerre on the inverse permutation. You read this diagram from left to right, and each time you have a new point, you have a certain number of possibilities, else you put it in an interval, so there is k plus 1 way, or else you put it on a segment, there is k possible way, and if you put it on a segment, then you can extend the segment, or close the segment, or you can also put a single point, you open and you close. So this corresponds exactly to the 4 operations of the restricted Laguerre, and this point here corresponds exactly to the choice you are making. So the number of such points is exactly the 3-to-1 parameter of the Laguerre history. In fact, the real 3-to-1 was this one, because if you look the permutation like this, and going from left to right, so this would be the point of the 3-to-1 exactly the parameter 3 to 1 on the inverse. And this one will be the mirror image of the, but it comes from the fact this is part of a more general commutation diagram, which comes from the subdivided Laguerre history, which comes from a pair of Hermite history. I have just to change and to get exactly the 3 to 1. And so we get exactly, this is the proof that the Q analog, the Q parameter on the alternative tableau is exactly the Q Laguerre in the Laguerre history, in the restricted Laguerre history. And if you go back, you extend this Motzkin path. We go back to the subdivided Laguerre history. So this was exactly the choice, giving the Q Laguerre. If you remember, you transform the Motzkin path into a Dicke path, then you put all the weight, and this was the, go back to the previous lecture, this was the subdivided Laguerre history. And so the Q analog, what is the Q analog? Is the Q analog of each of these points. And this Q analog now is going to be transferred on the Q analog of the Hermite. And we have done the Q Hermite. So it's exactly, the Q analog is maybe, depending on the ordering, number of nesting or number of crossing. So the parameter Q, fundamental parameter Q coming from the number, from the PASEP, number of yellow cells in the alternative tableau, becomes the 3 to 1 in the Laguerre history and becomes the number of crossing of the both diagram here and here. Now, Sebley-Cortel invented the name number of crossing of a permutation. Number of crossing of a permutation is the number of, when you have a blue pair like this, it's accident, two pair like this which cross, or maybe it's you are going like this, with, or maybe you are going like this. So you can, so which is exactly this definition of crossing a permutation. In this permutation, it's exactly this. But because if I go to my subdivided here, because of this convention, this 3 red point exactly, there is a crossing. So it depends on the fixed point. If you put the fixed point above or below, it says it's not completely symmetric. It depends on the way you are going to split your cycle notation of permutation into this diagram. So this was known before. This was the way, that was the first proof that the Q of the alternative tableau was exactly the, so this was a bijection. So first there was the interpretation of Cortel-Williams of the stationary distribution of the PASEP with Q, with permutation tableau. The Q in the permutation tableau was the number of superfluous 1, which is exactly the same as the alternative tableau. And then there is a bijection given by Stengrimsson and Lorraine Williams between permutation tableau and permutation. And in this bijection, the Q of the tableau, the same as the Q of the alternative tableau, becomes the number of crossing of the permutation. But it took a long time before transforming everything into the 3 to 1 pattern. So what about now the triple distribution? It's tempting to say, okay, I have Laguerre history, 3 to 1 is a Q of the choice, and 2 extreme choice alpha beta, but the word is not so simple. For inversion table, okay, everything works. You have the Q analog, no problem, alpha beta is the extreme choice, but for the Laguerre, so there is 4 possible operators. There is, for each operator, you can define an alpha and a beta, and there is no way, at the present moment, to have both alpha and beta as extreme choice. You can have one of the parameters as a first choice, but not both at the same time. So if I take the restricted Laguerre, there is a parameter beta. For beta means you take the first choice. This is the restricted Laguerre, or sometimes people put beta equal alpha plus 1. So this is going from restricted to enlarged Laguerre. So restricted is for beta equal 1, alpha equal 0. So Laguerre is indexed by alpha. If you take alpha equal 0, you get n factorial at the moment. Alpha equal 1, you get n plus 1 factorial. So if I put alpha equal 0, I get the beta, which corresponds to beta equal 1. That's why you have restricted Laguerre. And now in the restricted Laguerre, it's easy to see that each time restricted means that all along the construction, you keep the first empty cell always at the beginning. So that at the end, you will put the n+1 on this first cell. So two operator, okay, I can put that in the first position because if you add the two operator, we'll add a new cell at the left. But there is two operator which are closing this cell. So they are forbidden. This is why for two operator, k+1 is replaced by k. Then if you took always at the first position, then you can see that the alpha parameter of this history is exactly the number of left to right minimum element. So it is very easy to do. And so we get the moment of this Laguerre is in fact exactly permutation counted by left to right minimum element. So if you go back to the inversion table, it's one of the extreme choice. We have done both alpha beta, but for this kind of problem, Laguerre history, we cannot have both at the same time. One is possible. So if I go back to my complicated bijection with local commutation diagram, I get the double distribution. You see, with some right to left, but this is called in literature. Many bijection give you not exactly left to right minimum, left to right maximum, right to left. There is 4 possibilities. It gives you maybe when you want to have a pair, always one of them will be special. For example, for the Stein-Grimson-Lorraine bijection with permutation tableau with crossing or permutation, they get also the alpha beta, but one of them is special. It's a kind of left to right minimum element with some condition special. But even with my bijection which I show at the chapter 1 of the class, then from this it's easy to transform this into easy construction and get the double and go back to this with a double distribution for the left. So the alpha beta, you see, any kind of bijection you do, usually you will find always a double distribution with no Q. The problem is to put Q, alpha, and beta all together. So if I go back to this, to the bijection inversion table, this bijection by Jean-Christophe Aval and Nadeau and Adrien Boucicault. Now the alpha beta are very easy to, it's a very nice bijection because you get exactly the alpha beta. Alpha and beta, we have seen that it's exactly the number of points in the first row, in the first column of the triadic tableau, except this point. So it's exactly in the inversion table, it's exactly the alpha beta which work very well for with the inversion table when you have the Q analog in the number of inversion. And now if I go back to my multilinear heaps, then you get exactly alpha beta is going to be, now it's very nice, it's going to be the left to right minimum element and the right to left maximum element. So you get both distributions, there is no special, and you get the Q at the same time. So if you go to the inverse permutation, then you have one of the most simple interpretation that you have the 3 parameter. So take the Laguerre history and the inverse permutation. So you have the 3-to-1 parameter for the Q, and instead of having the left to right, right to left mean what you get is now you get the right to left. If you look this picture like this, you have the right to left minimum and the right to left maximum. And so you have this theorem, which is due to Joshua Vergès, that the partition function of the PASEP is, this is, I think, the most simple form in terms of permutation. It's sigma over all permutation of alpha power the number of a left to right minimum element, beta number of left to right maximum element, and q power number of this index. But Joshua Vergès, he used a series of bijection, this, and but it's very powerful method because all this story of the Q Laguerre with alpha beta is related to this Al-Salam-Chiara polynomial, which came directly from the Askey-Wilson when you took 2 parameters equal 0. So this polynomial, there is a rescaling of this polynomial will give me this Laguerre I am using now. So I don't say anything about this. It will be next year. It's complete. But you get a very nice, complicated formula. With this technique, combinatorial technique, you get a formula for the moment of this. So what about the approach by physicists? Did they get this nice generating function for the partition? If you look at the paper, they work hard to get the partition function for the 3-parameter PASEP. So this was in 2000. These 4 British physicists, they have physicists from the astronomy center. So they take this matrix. Don't read the detail, just to give you an idea of the solution. They take this matrix, they apply the matrix on that. They show that D and E satisfy D equal Q E D plus D, and they found the partition function, which is the following. So if you just, yes, so the partition function is equal to the sum of this with R and B. R equals this, and B equals this. Oof. So this is the expression of the partition function. And in fact, Joshua Verges, he put a Y. The Y parameter is a Eulerian parameter, the number of particles in the, and he gets this formula. He gets this formula with a, this formula with a Y. So this is formula for R. In the case of Y equal 1, the R becomes this. So he gets explicit formula for the moment of the Al-Salam-Kara polynomial. So you see, at the analytic level of polynomial, formula become very complicated. But at the bijective level, maybe it's... so some complement. You remember the Q-Hermite, but so the moment of Q-Hermite, this is classical. When there is no alpha beta, there is a bijective proof for the moment of Q-Hermite by it. This will go back to Touchard. And, but if I do this Hermite, this second kind, instead of taking weight lambda k equal k, I claim that if I take this weight, lambda k equal q power k minus 1 multiplied by this, the moment becomes this. And the proof is very simple. So each time you choose q power I if you choose choice number I, multiplied by q power the number of choice minus 1. So you increase the q, and you get exactly q analog of this. This is analog of the q analog of n factorial. Q analog, number of involution is 1 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. So if you construct an involution like this now, you put arc by arc. So first arc, 1 choice. The second arc, now there is 3 choices. Choice 0, choice 1, choice 2. Now the next one, there is 5 choices. So you see this is a construction of involution with no fixed point. And each time you have a choice, you put q power I for this choice. And I claim now that the number of crossing, which is here, plus twice the number of nesting, which is here, there is 1 nesting, this give me 2. There is 2 crossing, this give me 4. So the weight, this will be q power 4. And you see, this is an analog of inversion of permutation. You take q power, the sum of all the choice. This was choice 0, 1, and 3. So the sum of these 3 numbers is exactly the same as this. Now if I go back to the Laguerre polynomial, Laguerre of this kind, and you do the same. So if there was nothing here, this would be the Laguerre of the PASEP. Now multiply in the same way. Q power is the number of choice. And what you get, the moment is exactly this. So always you can ask, what is the moment of this? The surprise is that it is this. And the analytic calculus force you to introduce a blue and a red. Two-color Motzkin paths are inside. If you don't know anything of the Motzkin path, and the explanation. Sorry, I will go fast for the explanation, but you can imagine now to prove this. We have all the ingredients to prove this with subdivided Laguerre history with and the Médicis. There is a lemma. Again, an exercise is not so obvious. In our paper, we have to prove this in a pedestrian way with recurrence relation that I don't know if there is a more beautiful proof. But if you take a permutation, the number of inversion of the permutation is going to be the number of exceedance of the permutation plus by the Laguerre history, it is splitted into 2 Hermite history. So there is 2 Hermite diagrams. So it will be the inversion inversion in sense of just I define inversion of an involution with no fixed point, 1 by 3 by 5 by 7. So it will be the inversion of this diagram coming from the first Hermite history plus inversion coming from this. And you can check that this gives you 16 plus something, and then you can. So this gives you the proof that the moment, if you look carefully, this gives you a proof that makes this weight give you n factorial. It's because the multiply by q power k. Here you will multiply in each Hermite history by the q power the number of choice. This gives you the number of inversion, what I call inversion of the Hermite history, of the inversion of the diagram, plus ça, and this will total. And with this formula, I give you the proof that, and there is a beta parameter on all this. But it's difficult to these 3 parameters. So if you are not too tired, I will finish the chapter 5 with 5 parameters. So you can imagine now the complexity to go to 5. But the combinatorics is simple. That's a surprise. So this was solved by Uchiyama, Sasamoto, Wadati, and it involves the Askey-Wilson polynomial. And Sylvie Cortel, Lorraine Williams, though, they gave a generating function for the partition function with these 5 parameters in terms of tableau. They call this tableau staircase tableau. And it's not so complicated combinatorial objects. It's almost the same as alternative tableau. But first define so the physicists, they use the Askey-Wilson polynomial, which are defined Pn of x equal this. If I denote, so you have to be an expert in all this notation to understand, but this is just to look. If you don't understand, look this as a piece of art. Okay, I look the picture. I don't understand everything, but this seems really beautiful. How people can work on this and transform this into beautiful combinatorics. So this is called. We are in the world of basic hypergeometric function, and this Askey-Wilson polynomial satisfies this 3-term recurrence relation with an, bn, and cn. So they are not monic polynomial. With an equal this, bn equal this, and cn equal this, where s equal this, s prime equal this. So you have a beautiful 3-term recurrence relation. Now you apply the change of variable in the matrix D and E, small e, small d, and you define small d and small e by this. And you will get capital D, capital E satisfying the Passep relation. So you have the 3 matrices are both tridiagonal. It's like in our Laguerre history, there was only diagonal plus above. Both of them, the 3 lines are diagonal, above diagonal and below are full. So how do you call this notation in music? There is a natural. There is sharp, flat, and between. In French, it's bécard. There is flat, sharp, and natural, I think. In France, it's bécard when it's maybe when you have put flat, sharp or flat, but you have to cancel the flat or the. So there is a natural maybe or. So this is diagonal term. So diagonal term is equal to this, multiply by this, minus this, minus this. Don't be afraid. You don't need to understand. We will go back to the tableau in regular. So E is this, minus this, minus this. So this is a diagonal term. Now above the diagonal, you have, and below you have this and this. So what is AK? AK is this, square root. And you need VW and to get the matrix on that. And from this long paper, solving the 5 parameters, Sylvie Cortel and Lorraine Williams, they get a tour de force to get the tableau and the weight to get exactly. It's not the moment of this, but it's close, it's connected. There is a function. All this is very complicated, but the good objects are interpreting all this very beautiful calculus. So this comes from the physics. So we get very inspired from the physics. I think this tableau, we will not be able to invent them if we were follow but you have to be able to follow this very complicated calculus to go back to combinatorics. But we know we start with the TASEP, alpha and beta equal 1, and then 3 parameters. And then, so since all this work have been done since 15 years, I give you a kind of survey of this. So staircase tableau, it's the following. It's like you take a Ferrier diagram, which is a staircase. And there is some, there is two colors. It's like alternative tableau. There is two colors for the blue, two colors for the red. There is dark and light blue, dark and light red. So the color for the blue, in fact, there are nobody on the left. It's beta and delta. So alpha, beta, delta are the variable of the PASEP. So you have a beta or a delta. There is nobody on the left. On the diagonal, if you have alpha, for any alpha or gamma, there is nobody below. So one condition, nobody at the left of a beta or delta, nobody below an alpha or gamma. And third condition, every cell on the diagonal, there is a point. One of the 4 possible points. So it's easy to see that the number of such tableaux is 4 power n factorial. In fact, we are again in the world of permutation, but color permutation. If you put 2 power n, then this is a Coxeter group Bn. But there is 2 more color. So if you take, so I give you an idea of the proof that it is 4 power n factorial. So if you take what I call a staircase alternative tableau, which means you don't put 4 colors. You put only 2 colors, blue and red, like for any alternative tableau. And the condition is that all the diagonal is full of points. Then there is an easy bijection between staircase alternative tableau and alternative tableau. There is a very easy bijection. So any Catalan, any staircase, any alternative tableau can be extended to a staircase alternative tableau. So it's a condition that all diagonal is full. So the bijection is the following. You take the point on the diagonal, and each time there is a blue point, nobody on the left, you delete this row. You are going to compress the row. Each time there's a column, you are going to compress the column like this. But when you compress a row like this, you keep these edges here. When you compress a column, you keep these edges here. And when you are going to do this, you say, what is going to doing the compression? What remains is these things, which we glue together, which give you this. So it is this kind of a compression or extension. And maybe this remember you something. When we were working, it was in the seminar on Maole. We were working with Catalan tableau and extended with staircase tableau. And the Catalan tableau is an alternative tableau in bijection with a tree. The extended staircase tableau in bijection with this. And if you take the underlying tree, it's going to be the extended tree of this. So this diagram commute, you see. For Catalan, it's just extending a tree, the same as extending a tableau. So this is the bijection for permutation. So when you color a staircase tableau with 4 colors, in fact, first we are going to color an alternative tableau with 2 colors. In the staircase tableau, there is all the points which are not in the diagonal, plus the point on the diagonal. So in the bijection here, you see, when I'm going to color this with 2 colors, so putting 2 colors everywhere on the diagonal, this gives you a 2 power n. There is n points in the diagonal. And plus putting 2 colors on the point inside, this gives you another 2 power n, which is here. So I am going to prove that 2 power n times coloring with 2 color an alternative tableau give you 2 power n factorial. So the number of alternative tableau with 2 color for the blue and the red cell is 2 power n factorial. Be careful. It's alternative tableau of size n plus 1. So it's not obvious at all. But it's not obvious immediately. Take an alternative tableau counted by n plus 1 factorial, put 2 colors on the blue and the red, and you get 2 power n factorial. But there is, with all we have done, there is an easy proof that easy proof is that when you go, or the proof is here, it's equivalent to say that here you have a permuted inversion tableaus of size n plus 1, it's n plus 1 factorial. If you all these points here on this diagonal, you put them on the first row, putting 2 colors. See this point here, I put it below with the blue. This point here, I put it below with the blue. So this kind of inversion table are in bijection with inversion table on an element. I have deleted the diagonal, but to remember this point, I put them on the first row, putting a color. So I already put some color. Now, coloring the whole thing, I have to put color in the interior point. And putting color in the interior point, you see, it's because of the bijection we have seen before. Here, you see, in my inversion table, if you put 2 colors in this point, this I was doing that before. Then 2 colors on these 4 possible points. This will give you a total coloring of the tableau. So what I am doing, you see, I am doing this point. In bijection, putting back here, I have 2 colors on this point. And what remains to put color is 4 points here. And I have to put 2 colors on this. This will be total will be 2 power n, but now I am with n factorial instead of n plus 1 factorial. This idea gives you the proof of this. You see, when I inversion table, you extend it, and this gives you. This is the same as giving a proof of this. So let's finish. Sorry, but I cannot stop. 3 more minutes, and now I have to put a weight on this tableau. So the weight is the following. At the left of a delta, you put a Q. At the left of a beta, you put an empty cell. Now you have to look what happened at the left of a gamma or of an alpha. So at the left of an alpha or gamma, you put a Q to the condition that above there is a beta or a gamma. And so this gives me this new cell, you see. So it was the first condition. This is the second one. And if you have this, if there is alpha, then you put nothing. And now to get the state of the particle, because we want to have the stationary probability for the 5 variable PASEP, so you have the state can be read here. See, in the extension, when you extend the alternative tableau to staircase tableau, there is a shape of the alternative tableau which gives the sequence of state, occupy or not occupy of the strip. So by extension, then you can read the word of the state. You can read the shape of the Ferret diagram here. So you put, when you have an alpha or a delta, you put a black point. When you have a beta or gamma, you put this. So the shape of the Ferret is, you read it by the color of the diagonal, which gives you the. So this gives you the sum of the tableau having a given shape, gives you the stationary probability, and the moment of the Askey-Wilson are closely. There is a formula. I don't give you all the detail. It's very complicated, but they can be computed as the sum of the weight of all this staircase tableau. The problem is that the definition of the weight is not symmetric in row and column. So there must be somewhere in the clouds, there must be somewhere. We are discovering a big mountain. Each time there is many faces of the mountain. Sometimes we say and there are beautiful peaks, and no, there is much more beautiful behind. So the top of the mountain, we not yet see the total, but that remember me, what, a long time ago, 50 years ago, a lot of people were not born. I was in India, and I want to discover Annapurna and Dhaulagiri, the French expedition. So we are working in Nepal for and each time it was Mousson. So the clouds, every day we see more and more mountains. And, it was so beautiful. But we believe it was de la Guérie. And no. 2 days later, there was something higher. And it was fantastic. During 10 days, we were walking. And at the end, Mousson stopped. And we can go in the high mountains. And it was so I feel like this expedition in Passep, all these tableaux, etc. I feel the same. Since 10 years, everybody is working on this. And there is some mystery. We are still, so there is still some, and there is some hope because you see, this Askey-Wilson polynomial are related to an orthogonal polynomial. This is the weight for the orthogonality. This is the famous Askey-Wilson integral. So now you see, everything is beautiful. A, B, C, D, everything is symmetric, everything. And then, long time ago, we discovered that this Askey-Wilson integral, it seems to be outside of the combinatorics. This Askey-Wilson integral can be interpreted as a product of 4 Q-Hermite polynomials, where Q-Hermite polynomials are defined by this. So in fact, all this integral, Askey was very shocked when we showed the combinatorial paper, because he spent 6 months. I have been told to compute totally this integral, but I cannot believe that the combinatorics can reach this level. But if you combine something good in bijection and something very good in analytic calculus, if you combine both people, then it goes very fast. With Stanton, we have done this in one afternoon. I was in MIT, I met him, and he told me, can you compute the integral of a product of 4 Hermite, Q Hermite? I told him, I don't know, but with Q alone, I can do even any product of Hermite. So let's put Q. I have to change the involution, and then you have to do calculus. So it was a dialogue between somebody very smart in calculus. Then I have to do the bijection, and I cannot believe that the Askey-Wilson integral came. So combining all this technique, bijection and analytic bijection, you can make some very beautiful things. I would never been able to do this computation. For me, I am comfortable in my bijective garden. And so it's a product of 4 Q-Hermite, and the Q-Hermite is exactly now the inversion of the arc is Q power the number of crossing plus a number of nesting. And if you remember Laguerre history, Laguerre was a product of 2 Hermite history. So there is a f of PQPL. There is a one. So product of 2, product of 2, there is 4. It's very natural. And this integral, it seems to be very symmetric. So now maybe there is some hope to start from this, to understand this from now, everything which have been done for the 5 parameters. So I will conclude this end of chapter 5, but what I call the essence of bijection. Because you see, you have this garden, many combinatorial objects, many people try to find bijection. Okay, but to have a list of bijection, maybe it's interesting, but you have to understand this bijection. What I call the essence of the bijection, like the 3-to-1 parameter pattern. The essence is okay. It depends on the ordering of the thing, but so all this garden, I would like to say the art of bijective combinatorics. It's become hard to paraphrase a famous series of books of Donald Knuth. So we have this garden. So, but what is important is the bijection, and what I mean by the essence of bijection is to connect this bijection between themselves. One bijection contains the spirit of another one combined with it, so it's more subtle than just combining bijection. And I show you what I mean by essence of bijection. How did this bijection maybe remind you something? So you have to. I will finish with. So this bijection remind you something of the previous class. Last year of Hips. You see, this construction, if I go back last year, So it is simply the bijection between disk path and any path can be bijected with the heaps of cycle. In the particular case of disk path. So now if you have a permutation, like take a permutation, okay, you can put a disk path. You follow going left, right with my red segment, blue segment. And then forget, if I do the bijection with my friend Gérard Duchamp on the violin, the bijection will give you this. And now look, you have a heaps of dimers. And these heaps of dimers become a heaps of segment. And why it became a heaps of segment is, if you remember the class again last year, when you have a heaps of dimers, you can bijectively put it a heap of segment. This was to give the basis of the temporally algebra. So this is what I call the essence, the spirit of the bijection. You have many bijections in your mind, and then you put a new bijection, which is just not a combination of the bijection, but the combination of the essence of the bijection. Okay, thank you.